Good morning, everyone. It's been a wee while. Welcome to our weekly Wellbeing chat. Today's a little bit more of a general awareness chat, I guess. And the question is, are you an overwhelmed woman? Are you menopausal? Are you perimenopausal? Have you heard of perimenopause? And men, don't click away now as I trip over the footpath. Look at that. Oh. Because chances are you're partnering with us, or you're a family member to us, or you're friends with us, or you're working with us, or for us, or vice versa. And these are conversations that are just starting now, and there's so much more awareness around the physiological and psychological effects that these hormonal changes are having on us women folk. So what does it look like? I'm going to make a few generalizations. And yes, I'm still an overwhelmed woman sometimes. I do my best to manage it. Doing this, well, not the spinning around, but the being out here is part of it. Okay, so what does it look like? Through my conversations with women over the years, I have found most commonly around sort of our 40s-ish, maybe 50s, we start to get really excited. If we've got kids, we might have a family. The kids are getting older. They're at high school. We think, yeah, they're quite self-sufficient. They're quite independent. I'm so excited. We might jump into full-time work or longer hours, or we might go for that promotion, or we might start some study and kick things up, coming back to ourselves again, particularly in the vocational space. But then when kids are teenagers, their problems aren't as simple as they tripped over and scraped their knee. They've got emotional, relationship, psychological, stress-related issues that they need support with, and that takes a lot more of our energy than we bargained for. So, and then they do things like go out to parties, start drinking, get their driver's licenses, so there's hours and hours in that. So at a time when we are starting to step up our own commitments, there are other commitments that are often unforeseen that are happening at the same time. And so many women in this phase of life, while it's exciting, they're on a knife edge. We're on a knife edge. There's split seconds for every task in the day, and we know exactly what that is and when it is, how much time we've got to do it. But what we don't realise is happening in the background, I'll backstep a bit. We can feel very stressed. We can get quite anxious. Our moods can fluctuate, which often happens when we're stressed and under pressure anyway, right? But what we don't realise is happening in the background, so that's what it can look like. What's happening in the background is these hormonal changes. And part of that, because I'm not a specialist in the hormonal area, but part of that is the production of our estrogen starts to run out. So the body kicks into like an overdrive to try and get more of this stuff happening because it's really inconsistent. And so what that looks like or feels like for the body is spits and spurts. So things like our periods going up and down and in and out and heavy and light and blah, and moods going up and down, and the other sorts of symptoms that people aren't aware of as being part of perimenopause are anxiety, heightened stress levels, poor sleep, poor quality sleep, and now I'm trying to think, cognitive fog. Who'd have thought? When I was going through that kind of a process, I thought that it was because of very high stress levels. And then when I was going through my chemo treatment and stuff like that a couple of years ago, I thought it was all because of that. But there's a number of different things that can cause cognitive fog, and we now know that perimenopause is one of those things. So to the overwhelmed woman, I'm trying to do hearts with one hand. Oh, there we go, hearts. You are not alone. You are not crazy. You are not abnormal. So this is, again, just an awareness tip, just to let people know that these are some of the experiences that are actually a part of perimenopause. And perimenopause can go on for 5, 10, 15 years, depending on the person. Of course, it's highly individual. We talk about menopause. I learned this the other day. Menopause is one day. Excuse me. Menopause is the one day when your periods have stopped for 12 months. That's it. Then menopause. Then, I don't know. But the actual period that your body goes through of adjusting and slowing down and adapting to the cessation of these processes is perimenopause. Look that up, P-E-R-I, menopause. So yes, there's lots of things that you can do to look after yourself. If you would like more information or to chat with anyone about those things, please feel free to give me a call. Part of my wellness coaching programs that I offer in a lot of different areas, there is and will be one for the overwhelmed woman, which takes into account a lot of these sorts of things. But regardless, whether you're into coaching or not, feel free to give me a call. I love chatting about this stuff. And if you've got any questions about it for yourself from a medical perspective, maybe head along to the Women's and Family Health Service in Northbridge and Joondalup if you're in WA here, or head along to your GP and just ask the questions. It's not always as straightforward as identifying the hormonal changes. And so the doctor says to you that you're not in perimenopause, maybe investigate that a little bit further with them and talk through some of the symptomatology that you're experiencing, because a lot of things that we do, for example, contraceptives and things like that, can mask that as well. I feel like this is a long one today, so I'm going to shut up. Such a valuable conversation. I could talk about this for hours. Take care all. And again, important conversation for the workplace. Not necessarily a question that you can ask a woman in the workplace, but if you are a woman in the workplace, and then you can maybe use some of this information to start a conversation if you're needing support. All right, love to you all. Have a spectacular day. Enjoy some of this amazing, again, if you're lucky enough to be in WA, some of this amazing sunshine and blue sky. And I will be in touch again soon. Cheers all. Be well. Bye.